now time to take a look at news stories making headlines around the globe. We begin at home as Committee of Elders, including former governors and the paramount traditional rulers of the Tiv and Idoma nations, is to be constituted with presidential backing to find lasting solutions to the persistent attacks in Benue State. The committee will also identify land for the establishment of ranches. President Bola Tinubu made this known during a town hall meeting in Makurdi, where he promised to personally meet with the committee in Abuja to work out practical solutions. Arise News' Theophilus Tiav has more.
President Bola Tinubu arrived at the Tactical Air Command base of the Nigerian Air Force in Makurdi as part of his visit aimed at easing tensions in Benue State. During the visit, he met with victims of recent attacks and issued fresh directives to security agencies to restore law and order, particularly in the hinterland communities. Upon his arrival, he headed straight to the Benue State University Teaching Hospital. There, he met with victims receiving treatment from injuries sustained in recent attacks. The president then proceeds to the Benue State Government House, where he holds a stakeholders meeting. One major proposal made by the president is to establish a council of elders, including former governors and the paramount rulers of the Tiv and Idoma nations, to profile lasting solutions, including the allocation of land for the establishment of ranches. President Tinubu pledged his full presidential backing, stating that he will hold regular meetings with the committee in Abuja until lasting peace is achieved.
Let us please find a way to form a committee of elders here. That committee to comprise those who had governed this state before, including Atom Pera.
The people of Benue State were urged to rally around Governor Hysantalia and support his efforts to build synergy with neighboring state governors. He was strongly advised to reconcile with his political rivals.
I give you the assurance that we will find peace. We will convert this tragedy to prosperity. Police, I hope your men are on alert to listen to information. How come no arrest has been made? I expect there should be arrests of those criminals. Thank all of you. We need to keep our ears to the ground. Let's get those criminals. Let's get them out.
Governor Ole, along with the chairman of the Benue State Traditional Council, His Royal Majesty, Professor James Ayati, commended the president for his visit, expressing optimism that it will mark a turning point in the state's protracted search for peace.
Again, your visit rekindles our hope and energizes all of us to continue thriving the path for peace.
We appeal to you to end the genocide going on in Benue State and the insecurity in all parts of Nigeria. We know you are capable of doing it, sir. We know you are a courageous leader. You are a focused leader. You are a determined leader. You have the courage and the political will to do so. You have taken hard decisions and actions that many people before you did not dare. You have handled the subsidy challenge of this country, the exchange rates in this country, and other difficult decisions. You have taken them. You can give us peace in Benue State.
President Tinubu's visit to Benue State comes amid heightened tensions and grief following the recent spark of deadly attacks that left over 200 people dead, with thousands displaced. Many in the states are hopeful that the high-level engagement will engender peace, security, and lasting reconciliation. Theophilus Tiav, Arise News.
It really brought the depth and the magnitude of the tragedy home, especially when I was looking at those images of the president in the hospital. He looked genuinely touched and disturbed and affected by what he had witnessed. So this is why we advocate for leaders to be on the ground, to have a first-hand experience, because sometimes the account of those around you may not hit home. Now, when it came to the president's address, I know there were a lot of questions and criticisms around the more of a political tone that it took. And President Tinubu reinforced that a lot of what we're seeing is more political. That reminded me of what we saw in Benue State in 2001 that ended up leading up to the Zika Biam massacre. And it just reminded us of the importance of focusing as much as possible on the non-kinetic strategies. What political solutions can be done? What civil solutions can be done? What can be done between the communities themselves? Because as we've discussed, this issue is multi-layered. In 2001, we hadn't had the explosion of terrorism coming in from the Sahel and the push that we've seen of terrorists trying to further their cause closer to the coast. So that's an added layer of complexity to this. But to tie it all in, I'm glad that he did address the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, who was there present, the IGP as well. Where are the arrests? And it also reminded me of a point that we discussed yesterday where we said that, unfortunately, as Nigerians, when we think security, the first thing that comes to mind is the military, and that's not correct. In this instance, people are calling for the military to come in, but the question is, where are the police? Where are the arrests? Because these are crimes. This is, first and foremost, this is criminality. So we want to see more of the police in the front line. And we hope in the next few days, we're going to see some people being brought to book, being held accountable for this, because that's the first step in ensuring that this doesn't recur. Because if you remember, one of the key, characteristics that makes this issue a sticking issue that continues to recur is the fact that there isn't efficient prosecution of suspects. So you have people who are suspected of committing these crimes and they're not brought to book. They don't go through the system. They're not imprisoned. They're not charged. So much doesn't happen. And they're reintegrated back into society only to radicalize more people and re-emerge again with more brute force. So at this time, I think it's incredibly important for us to start seeing that movement. The president has given the marching orders along with a number of other interventions, including the creation of a ranch. I'm glad that the Minister of Livestock was there because the Ministry of Livestock was created specifically to ensure that some of these, the clashes that are related to farmers and herders can be contained. Now, when the Ministry of Livestock was created, they said that they would need 10 years to be able to roll that out. And we kicked back and we said 10 years is far too long. The ministry needs to be given a shorter deadline nationwide, not just in Benue State, because this menace is not restricted to Benue. This menace is now cropping up in other parts of the country, and that ministry is there to ensure that these types of things are regulated and are averted, and that other criminals and other terrorists and other bad actors don't piggyback off of the fact that there is crisis between farmers and herders to perpetuate their own acts of terror.
A quick correction. So the story I was saying was actually, IBB actually directed that to Etimiyang. Okay. Etimiyang, was the man in charge there when he said, "Where is Anini?" That famous question, "Where is Anini?" I mean, there's a street finally named after Etimiyang here, of Victoria Island here. So it was, in fact, his house was on that street before he passed, Etimiyang. So just a quick correction. It was Etimiyang, not Gambo. So sorry about that.
Thank you for
The President made very strong questions to, firstly, the Inspector General of Police, asking him why arrests had not been made. These are the same questions that we've been asking on this very program. So it feels good to hear and to see that the President is taking his visit and taking what's happening in Benue very seriously. Also, as we will also get into during the newspaper review, you saw that the streets of Benue were lined with people who, as we can see there, were making sure that they wanted the president to see them and see what their reality is. We saw mourners dressed in black, carrying placards, imploring the government, imploring the president to do something about their situation. And that's exactly what he's done. So we talked about his comments towards the Inspector General of Police, but also to the governor himself. He told him that you were elected to deliver security and hope for these people. You were not elected to bury people, to comfort widows, to comfort orphans. This is not the work that you are here to do. So you have to work with us, and we will work with you to ensure that you are able to deliver stability and security to these people. He also, again, called on his security chiefs to do the work that they need to do. We also know that the Benue State governor did ask for a specialized fund so that he could do the work of delivering this type of stability to the people. So again, it is something that is much highly anticipated, the president's visit to Benue, and it's one that I think by and large was successful. He was able to not only just deliver a speech in front of traditional rulers, he actually went into hospitals, saw victims, spoke to them, and I think that many people would appreciate the president's efforts.
I am happy, Mbai and Femi, that the president went there yesterday. There's a Yoruba saying, "Ìròyìn ò ta fojú bá." What it means is when they tell you, it's not like when you see it for yourself. If the president have not visited Benue, how would he know that the roads are so bad that when it rains, it gets flooded and you can't move around? He saw the floods yesterday. In fact, he said it was the floods and the bad road, the rains, that prevented him from going to Yelwata. So at least now he knows that infrastructure not good around there. If he didn't go there, how will he see the victims and empathize with them himself and see them in the hospital, see their states? And after seeing them, you can see the empathy. And like we pointed out yesterday, we are happy that a lot of people didn't turn it into jamboree. But let me read an excerpt of this day newspaper that said, "The sight of school children lining the streets of Benue during the president's visit, uniform waving flags and chanting rehearsed praises, raised troubling questions about the priority of governance and being sensitive in moments of national distress." Although the students, I also saw pictures of them carrying placards saying Benue is bleeding,
Correct.
But the sight of them, this was a reportage by This Day, saying they were singing praise. That was not good enough. So we are happy that once we made mention of it, we saw a more somber morning mood in Benue. So let's point that out. Another point, President Tinubu raised a very important question, a replica of how Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, president then, asked Inspector Gambo, IGP Gambo, that where is Anini? And like we asked yesterday, why has arrest not been made? Is it that we have unknown attackers in this country? People will just come, they attack you, and we don't even know where they are. Nobody saw them. Nobody know where they went. We have not been able to comb that proximity up to Nasarawa to be able to fish out. Is it that they were aliens? Is it that nobody even have a clue of where they are? No surveillance, nothing? No, it's not the days of Fela where we had unknown security authorities and unknown civilians. We must fish out these people. And the president gave marching orders to CDS, to those in the top security architecture, go and bring these people to book. So like, what's it called? Head of state then IBBD said to Inspector Gambo, where is Anini? We are asking like President Tinubu asked, where are the attackers of Yelewata? Where are the attackers? He must bring them out. And President Tinubu, kudos for that question. They also talked about setting up a committee hedge and all of that. Yeah. Whatever they do, as long as they fix the problem, that's my priority. The Yorubas have a saying, Ijotabari Binibi Wole. This must never happen again in Benue. And like he said, turning this chaos to prosperity in his speech will be ensuring that at least we fix infrastructure. So that next time President Tinubu goes on a follow-up visit, probably, when this chaos might have been turned to prosperity, there will be at least good roads for him to be able to visit water. And he will be able to say, I visited every part. Every part in this country deserves good roads. Tortif, God bless that professor. He says, La genocide. Genocide. People are being killed in high number just for being citizens and residents in a certain area. Let's not couch it under crisis and every. No, let's go hard on it to be able to get results. These are human lives. Somebody was telling me yesterday that a top politician in this country had his family members affected. Is it because people don't come out to tell their stories? Because when you tell their stories now, they feel, oh, you're against the government. What we are doing here, we are not against the government. We want the government to listen, to do it. And that's why today, as we were shouting, go to Benue, go to Benue. When he did go, did we commend him? We commend him. And like he said yesterday, he listens to the words of the critics. President Tinubu, that's a good one. Listen to us, because we are the ones that will tell you the truth that people will not be able to tell you.
Do you think this is a commendable move from Tinubu? Let's know in your comment. Thank you for watching.